behind me, my 1964 Caterpillar D8H bulldozer. Turbo time! That thing should be ready to fire up. Oh, what a beast! I love this thing. Alright, well, you guys saw the last video there and the old D8, and it died right where you see it setting. I was running out of time at the end of the last video, and that's now for me, so I still gotta go. I am still running out of time, but this starts a new video for you guys. We gotta get this thing off of this hill because I don't trust the brakes that much to leave it there overnight. I don't want to come here tomorrow and find it down in the creek, so I got a light plant set up. I got the Komatsu with the winch on it. Hopefully the Komatsu has enough gusto to pull the D8 up off of this hill. And of course, it's YouTube and it's on camera, so cameras never do hills justice. This is not super steep, but it's pretty steep. This right here is precisely why I don't understand why the Discovery Channel needs to fake all the drama on their TV shows like Gold Rush to make it suspenseful or interesting. I'm not planning any of this. This is all just the crap show that is unfolding in front of me. I'm already in a bad situation, and now my light plant just dies over here. The rear light on my dozer doesn't work, not that it throws much light to begin with. So I got the light plant going again. Hopefully the lights come back on and we can actually see what we're doing and not die. Those old school bulbs in the light plant take a little while to come back on after they've lost power, so I gotta get moving. I'm gonna stretch out the cable from the dozer by headlamp here. I know you guys aren't gonna be able to see much, but it's pretty boring anyway. Alright, I just released the brakes, so it's just sitting there being suspended by the winch line, so hopefully the old Komatsu's got enough guts to pull it up. Well, that went exactly how I hoped it wouldn't. We're playing a battle of mass here. That machine, the way it's rigged up with the blade on it and everything, is pushing 60,000 pounds. That one's only about 30, but that winch will do incredible things if I can get it hooked on something. There's a tree stump up there. I'm gonna go try and get the back of the dozer kind of hooked onto it, and then we'll see if I can do anything else with it. I shouldn't have stopped. I had the thing coming and all was fine. I stopped so I could reposition the camera so you guys could see. And when I had to engage the winch again, there was a momentary slack in between line in and line out. And when that slack tightened up, it created a giant shock load effectively. And we just snapped the cable and, well, now the D8's slammed up against the tree. At least the tree is there to catch it. The way it was sitting before, I kind of didn't think it would catch the tree. It looked like it was going to miss it and go all the way down. Oh boy. It's late. I got to go home. This is turning into a disaster and nothing's going to get better this late at night. I'm going to go make sure this thing isn't going to slip off the tree, and if not, we'll redo this in the morning. Come on. Oh, don't break the line. She's a big one. Ah, sea bass. Oh, hey there. As you guys well know, today's project is just one of the 8,972 projects that I have going for me. So I don't have a whole lot of free time to get away and wet a line anymore. Sometimes you do just need to relax and unwind a little bit though and get away from some of the mental cloudiness that having all these projects can give you. And that's why I really enjoy Fishing Clash. Fishing Clash is a super fun fishing-based game available for iOS and Android. Fishing Clash lets you hit up tons of amazing fishing holes all around the world, all while catching and collecting some really amazing fish. You can compete head-to-head against your buddies or compete in weekly challenges to hone your skills as an angler and upgrade your equipment. Just like in real life, you can upgrade your rods, you can upgrade your lures, collect all the fish that you can catch, unlock new fishing spots. It's just like real life without the mosquito bites. So help support the channel, download Fishing Clash for your phone now. Link is in the description, or just scan that fancy little QR code there on the screen. Once you're in the game, use my code Diesel Creek in just 3 easy steps to unlock a $20 value, yours for free today. You're going to get a unique avatar, you're going to get 1 mythical lure, you're going to get 50 luck power-ups, and you're going to get 30 weight power-ups to help you catch those big fish. So help support the channel today. Download Fishing Clash to your phone using the link in the description or scan that fancy little QR code there on the screen. Well, here we are the next day. Luckily, the D8 is still here. That big old silver maple may have given its life for this endeavor. The track took a pretty big chunk out of the backside of it. But, yeah, let's try and see if we can't get this thing up over the hill today. There's your problem right there. We blew that cable apart. That ain't no good. I thought I had a 3/4 Beckett to put in this cable so that we could just quickly and easily fix it. But it turns out the one I was thinking of in my mind is only a 5/8. So I don't know how to do this witchcraft that they did down here. This is old school cable weaving. Never done it before. Don't think I'm going to start today. So yeah, I might have to run to the store and get a 3/4 Beckett. Beckett's really the proper thing to have on here anyways.
So we're trying to figure out why this thing apparently lost fuel prime. Had fuel here through this strainer. The only place really left to check is this steel line that goes up to the transfer pump hasn't been blown out yet. So we're trying to get these tube fittings off, which are turning out to be challenging. This one didn't want to turn. Matt wanted to grab a line wrench. Hey bud, it's for the viewers.
Ugh. I'm gonna smash my fingers for the viewers. I can feel that coming.
Why don't you have a longer ratchet, bud?
Holy crap! Flip it.
I gotta flip her around.
I'm glad I'm wearing boots because it's getting deep around here, folks. Look at this breaker bar setup we have got going on here.
Oh, it's the old plastic handle's not a fan.
I have the metal handled ratchet. Yeah, let's not break that. I can't see anything. Everything you're messing with has a lifetime warranty.
There it is.
That's all she wrote. That sucker was on there.
Well, it's still not broken free of the tube.
Oh, this could be where we have some issues.
You got a little spray.
All right, everybody, you're going to have to forgive me. I didn't do a whole lot of filming there. Once my late night recovery mission failed, trying to pull this thing back up over the hill, I said, let's just leave it here until tomorrow. That nice maple tree was doing a very good job of holding the tractor from going over the hill into the creek. And the next morning, my buddy Sam from Scrappy Industries came over. He helped me pressurize the fuel system and bleed it completely through. And we were able to get the machine fired back up and drive it off the hillside there, which was a blessing. While we probably could have yanked it up the hill like I had originally planned, it was just nicer to drive it up there under its own power. So from that point, I was still fighting the same issues that I had had from the time we pulled it out of the shop. It's got low fuel pressure. Now, I don't know an actual spec at how many PSI it's supposed to run at, but the oil pressure I've been told is supposed to be around 30, and that's what we are. So the oil pressure doesn't concern me, but the fuel pressure, we put a gauge on and we're only pushing like 10 PSI at full throttle. So there's probably some sort of issue there and we need to investigate better. To get this thing fired up on that hillside, we did blow the lines all the way out back to the tank, so there is no obstructions in the line, no dirt, no debris, no collapsed line or anything like that. We had good fuel flow, and we still have low fuel pressure. So hopefully today we're going to be able to fix that. But one of the other things that happened while I had it back up here on the flat, I wanted to use it to push up that big brush pile that was over here so I could burn it. Well, we pushed it up and did what I needed to do, but in the midst of pushing it up, the cable that operates the blade on this old girl, she snapped. It was probably Sam's fault, because when we were fixing this thing on the hillside, Sam looked at the cable and said, "Oh, that cable's not long for the world." He wasn't wrong, but had he not said anything about it, I'm sure it would have lasted the rest of my life and then some. So the winch on these machines that operates the cable blade actually lines in very, very fast. And before I even realized that the cable had snapped, because I was pushing brush, it makes it harder to tell. I had sucked the cable all the way back through here to the rear, and luckily, well, I guess it might have looped around the drum too, I don't know. But hopefully there's enough left on the drum that we can get this thing back into operation. If not, I'm gonna have to make a run and go get some new cable. And then we gotta fish it back through all the shivs, down this tube on the side of the tractor, under that shiv, over the next shiv, down through that 4 block. So I guess there are better ways there to wrap the termination point cables here to keep the ends from fraying. If you look in the old books here, all the old manuals for all these cable and friction machines that I have, they all show you wrapping the end of the cable with a smaller diameter wire, and that keeps it from spreading out. But I kind of felt like tape was the dorky way to do this, but actually when I order cable from the warehouse, that's how they do it. They wrap packing tape, not electrical tape, but the electrical tape works too. They just wrap it with tape and cut it, and that keeps the ends from fraying. Alrighty, watch your ears. I should just be able to put the drum into float mode now, and that should let this free spool so we can pull it through. All the old dozer operators back in the day used to call themselves cat skinners. And I'm sure that the old timers could do this in a jiffy. Takes somebody like me that's figuring it all out as I go, just a little bit longer though. And that old expression, more than one way to skin a cat, definitely comes to mind. That don't make no sense. Come on. Well, it's hard to push a rope, and for some reason when I'm trying to push this rope through this tube that runs up to the front, we're hitting something. But there shouldn't be any obstructions in here. I have no idea why we would be having any issues. That's a problem. There we go, I think. There we go, yep. Well, I got through one spot and we quickly hit another. What the heck is going on in here? I think it's like old hardened out grease or something. Oh, fingers crossed, I think we got it now. Seems like they cut a hole in this tube for a reason, but I don't know why. The only thing I could figure is maybe to keep water from building up in there and freezing. Huh! Maybe that's why they put that notch there. That worked pretty good. Let's try to get this old cable out of here, the broken piece. Just like on the 22B shovel, we will have to remove this clamp, drive the wedge out, and then put the new cable through. Well, for as many shivs as we're pulling through right now, I guess I shouldn't complain about the resistance. It's not that bad. I'm pretty sure, according to the book, you're supposed to start at the front and feed to the rear and then let the drum wind itself up. But because we're trying to restring broken cable, can't really do that. If you don't know, the reason for so many pulleys up here is because every time you go through a snatch block or a set of pulleys, you're basically doing like a gear reduction. So basically you've got 4-to-1 gear reduction here, although it's not gears, it's pulleys. Because the winch in the back has to line speed so fast, they need this many shivs to be able to get you the lifting power to get the blade up in the air. All right, that's it. Now we just need to take off this old wire here, pop that wedge out, put the new rope through. Well, same rope, but fresh end. According to the Crosby rigging book, you're not actually supposed to do what they did here and put a clamp across the termination point like this. You can do what I did on the 22B, and I got a lot of flack for it. People telling me to never saddle a dead horse, but you didn't understand what I did there. So this is your dead end. This is your live end. It goes through the wedge, and theoretically you shouldn't have to do anything. That wedge should always be getting pulled on tighter and tighter so that the cable could never slip. But should the cable ever slip, what I did on the 22B was just put one single clamp around the dead end so that if it started to slide through, the cable clamp would hit into the frame of the termination block and drive that wedge or suck that wedge down even tighter. I didn't put any clamp on the live end because it wouldn't have done anything. If I put a clamp over here and you pulled and it started to slide, nothing would change. It would still just pull right through. Oh, that sucker's in there. There we go. That's the way to do that. There we go. That's all it takes. All right, let's fire this thing up, see if it works. Ready? Contact. Yeah, she's going up. All right, time to figure out this fuel pressure issue. All right, so I actually cracked the book open here, and I was reading about the bypass valve for the fuel transfer pump. And I believe it's that guy there that we're looking at. I know the sun's playing havoc with these shadows, but basically I just have to shut off the fuel, take off those couple bolts, and undo that line, and that housing should kind of come apart there, and we should be able to make sure that the plunger is not filled up with dirt or, you know, unseated or some reason. Something wrong in there is what we're looking for. All right, there is our spring that holds the fuel regulator plunger. Oh yeah, there's some gummy dirt in here, so that could definitely be part of our problem. You guys see this debris? I don't know what that is. It kind of looks like Teflon tape, or I don't know what that is, but definitely some debris in there. That could definitely be causing our issues. I feel like we're missing some pieces here. That took some doing. I hunted high and low, dug through the belly pan, and finally found this is the piece that got ejected from that little bypass valve. So we got to take that apart and put it back in. Alright, so that little plastic tit that I found in the belly pan there goes inside of that. Well, now it's on the ground, but that tit goes into this little hole, and the spring holds the pressure on there. So basically, to increase our fuel pressure, one way we could do it is to shim up this spring. So put like a washer behind it or something to get more spring pressure against it. But okay, so I put 3 5/16 washers behind that spring to shim it out and make it run tighter. We'll see what that does for our fuel pressure now. Alright, I'm pretty excited. I got that fuel pressure dialed up into the green there, and we don't have any leaks or anything going on, so I am considering that a success. I would say that either that spring in the bypass valve that we had to shim up, I would say either that spring got weak over time, or the actual fuel transfer pump, the gear pump that pressurizes the fuel system, I would say that it is potentially getting weak. But what I did there doesn't hurt anything, and it does keep the pressure up where we need it. So that should be a good enough fix for now. If it gives us problems in the future, we will explore that gear pump issue. Also, in case anybody's seeing all that black down there on the ground, I know it looks like wet ground. It's not. It's actually a bunch of coal that I just dug out of the belly pan while I was searching for that little button that I lost. The belly pan has a lot of dirt in it, and that is just some of the dirt that I pulled out of there, along with that whole 1-gallon jug that was buried in the belly pan and didn't even know. But anyways, this thing should be good enough to run right now. I'm pretty excited about it. I pushed around that brush, like I said, before I burnt it, but I didn't get to actually push any dirt yet. So this area over here that I cleared a while back still has topsoil on it. So from right here, you can kind of see this little depression that runs down through here. From there over, I need to strip the topsoil off of. So I got to move a couple of those machines over there first. I still got this fire pile smoldering here with some stumps in it that I'm trying to let those burn up the rest of the way. So I'm going to try not to disturb those. But I'm going to get the excavator and reach over this hill just a little bit and pull up some of this topsoil so that I don't have to back so far down with the dozer and start pushing it up. An area this big should not take very long at all to strip off with a dozer that big. Tell you what, guys, not too bad at all for 59 years old. That old girl can still push. When I was getting into that pile and really shoving the whole pile, oh my goodness, that thing was impressive how much power it actually had. I mean, I've run a bunch of brand new D8Ts, and you know, it's not a D8T, that's for sure, but for what that thing is, it is still pretty impressive. The only thing I'm a little disappointed with on it is the blade, and I can easily fix it, I just haven't done it yet. The blade doesn't like to cut, it likes to carry. So basically what that means is, like, as you're gliding across the ground, because it's a cable blade, you don't have down pressure. All you have is the weight of the blade to dig into the earth. Now the shape of the blade, so once the lower cutting edge starts to engage the ground, usually it wants to pull the blade down in, and that's what I mean by cutting. This blade likes to carry, so instead of cutting, it's kind of, what would it be, laid back a little bit, so it kind of gets underneath the pile and carries it really easy and doesn't gouge in like you kind of want it to when you're cutting off topsoil here. So I should be able to play with those turnbuckles on the blade. Those are really meant to angle the blade, but if you turn them both, I believe it should change the cutting face and get you some better attack angle. So I'll have to do that up at the steam show. As of right now, I have to try to wedge something in that track tensioner, hold some pressure on that thing so we can actually keep running it. But other than that, I think she's just about ready to go to the show. Well guys, I guess this is where I leave you. This video is getting pretty long now, and this is a good time to break it off here. In the next video, we're going to be breaking the D8 down and getting it ready to load out and haul it up to the National Pike Steam Show, where I will be at this weekend here. I am really excited to get to work this D8 for a while up there at the show. A lot of good area to get to really play with it and see what it's capable of. Kind of limited for space there at the farm. But anyways guys, if you would, do me a big favor, help support those that support this channel. Download Fishing Clash to your phone using that link down in the description or the QR code there on the screen. If you guys are interested in any merch, you can head on over to the store there at dieselcreek.com. We've got some really cool new hats over there I'm excited about. And of course, we still got t-shirts, hoodies, sticker packs, beer koozies, all the rest of those goodies over there at the store. That's dieselcreek.com. Link is also down in the description. But that's it for me, guys. Thanks for following along as always, and I will see you guys on the next one.